Okay, today I'm going to change the cabin filter on my 2001 9.3. It's not too big a deal. Um, I'll be demonstrating on the old generation 9.3, but I'll also explain the new generation 9.3 as I go along as well, which is quite a bit easier actually. Tool-wise, so all you need is something like a small screwdriver, little pick, to take these plastic caps off your wiper arms, and then a 13mm wrench to take the nuts off the wiper arms. Because that's basically the key to this. Is the cabin filter's underneath the cowl cover, and to get the cowl cover off, you've got to remove the wiper arms, which is not a big deal. These come right off. They're not pressed on, whereas on a 9.5, if you had to take the cowl cover off to access your wiper assembly, it's actually pressed on. You need a little puller to get them off. But the cabin filter on a 9.5 is inside the car. That's another topic. It's behind the glove box. But anyways, the old generation 9.3, the cabin filter's right in the center here, underneath the cowl cover. Now the new generation 9.3 is under the cowl cover on the passenger side, and a nice thing they did is on the cowl cover they actually made a little fold where you can, right here they would have a plastic push screw that you just remove, and then you can actually fold that part of the cowl cover up. And then there's a little drawer that the cabin filter goes in, just a couple clips. Most of the new generation 9.3s also, once you take the cowl cover off, there's another cover, which was an afterthought they put in after the new models, because what was happening, water would be getting on the fan, and then the fan would seize up. You know, your heater fan is right below the filter. Water would get in the filter, drip down on the fan, and it would rust, and you'd end up with a seized fan. So that's basically it for the new generation 9.3. So I'm going to demonstrate now how to change the cabin filter on the old generation 9.3. So I've got the one wiper arm off already. You just take your pick, carefully pry up your cap, remove your 13mm nut, I noticed somebody put red Loctite on these, which perhaps is nice insurance, but I found if you just snug them down, that's enough. Now, a tip on getting these up: if you just pull up on it, it's not going to come. What you do is you actually press down on the spring part, and then you can just pop it up like that. Pull off that weather seal. Now on the windshield, there's a rubber seal here, which is actually glued to the windshield. Now you find on some cars where the windshield was changed, you get to glue this back on, and then this ends up just sitting kind of loosely on here, but really properly from the factory, this rubber seal is actually glued to the windshield, and then the cowl cover slides under that, and you can see how that will actually keep water from running down into the cowl. So if they don't do a proper job and glue that back down, you'll have water problems getting in here. There's another plastic cover there. This has been in here for a long time. I've had this car since last summer. I've only put a few hundred miles on it. And it's obvious the previous owner changed the cabin filter a long time. Take a look at that. You can imagine the restriction in the airflow with that. Now another thing to do at the same time, as you see, this area is filled up with leaves and things, so I'm going to vacuum that out while I'm in here. But something to mention on that, the type of air filters, now I'm just putting a cheap one in. I got a 3-pack on eBay, and basically that's all I need. But if you can actually upgrade to a more expensive filter, some of them have charcoal and different things, and if you have allergy problems or things like that, you can actually get a higher quality filter to keep pollen and stuff out of the passenger compartment if that's important to you. But to me, a cheap one's fine. I'm just gonna put that in there and get my airflow back. But yeah, this is not uncommon. Over the years I've changed, you know, hundreds of these working at the Saab dealer, and you get a lot of them like this. Especially if that's the other thing I wanted to mention while we're discussing this topic. The interval, I never really was a fan of going by mileage. It's more of like the conditions. If you live in the woods, you got a lot of trees around your house, things like that, then you're going to change this much more often. You're really going to need to. You know, if you live somewhere with different conditions, then maybe not so often. Basically, there's a clip on each side. You release those. You got to kind of bend it a little, slide it out. Now the new one, this goes down. Like so. Fold that under. You see, the purpose of it is the seal goes around this screw, and so that's what that tab is for. Put one in first. Now I couldn't get the passenger side with one hand and holding the camera, so I had to take it out. It can be a little tricky, but you want to make sure that both sides click and lock. Otherwise, it's just laying on there loosely. It's not without the proper seal. You're not going to get a proper filtration. You get stuff down in your fan. You can make a noisy fan if you get like a maple seat or something down there. Now I'm going to take a few minutes and vacuum this out, and then put it back together. There, now I feel better. Vacuum that all out nice, got all that out of there. Now one thing while you're doing that, and I'm sure, see here, this is your drain, your cowl drain. There's a hole here, it comes out here. So, good time to check that and clean that out. Surprisingly, there's only a little bit in there. Okay. Nice and clean, ready to go back together. Just reverse your removal. Clean that off. That cover kind of tucks in a little hole on the driver's side here. I didn't, on the driver's side, you've actually got your washer hose connected to the cowl cover. I didn't bother to disconnect that, I just moved it out of the way, but if you want, you can do that. A little tricky. You got to start with one side and work back and forth to the other. The main thing is you want to get that back under that weather seal. Take your time, make sure everything's back where it belongs. Put your weather seal for the hood back on. Wiper arms. In place. Get them at a nice spark height. Now when you tighten these up, you really don't want to go crazy on them. I find that's why I'm using this little peanut ratchet. I find if I give it a nice snug peanut ratchet, I'm not going to over torque it, but I'm going to make it nice and snug. Pop your little plastic caps back. Just checking my wiper throughout. If you set this too high, and you can check it on the high speed, you don't want this to hit the A pillar. So this is just fine. So that's basically it. It only takes a couple minutes. Just take your time. But as you see, it's a maintenance item that is often forgotten. So right here, this is why you want to take a couple minutes and take the cowl cover off your 9.3 and check your cabin filter.